watching News.
And good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray. Gary is off this week. We'll hear from Eric in just a few minutes. Well, new this morning, 1 year ago today, a devastating F2 tornado struck the city of Rome, and recovery is continuing. Buildings were destroyed and then eventually demolished. A church steeple came crashing to the ground. Walls blown out, roofs peeled back, even the B-52 memorial knocked from its platform at the Griffiths Business Park. Remarkably, no one died. Today we'll have special coverage marking the anniversary. Also, Connected Community Schools will host a block party. We'll have a live report from there. That's from 2 to 6 on North James Street in Rome. The community is once again making sure 6-year-old twin sisters killed in last month's tornado are not forgotten, and at the same time supporting their mom. Tot Town Daycare and their families are hosting a fresh lemonade stand with lemons donated by Giuliano's Greenhouses. It's Friday, 10 to noon. Tot Town is on Alyssa Circle in Utica. Emily and Kenny Bisson were killed when a tree came down on their Clark Mills house back on June 22nd. Proceeds from the lemonade stand will go to their mom, Kaylee. The application period has closed for the relief fund to help victims of the June 22nd tornado and associated storms. Oneida County is currently processing more than 550 applications to Clark Mills, the town of Kirkland, and other affected areas. A partnership with the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties that offered up to $5,000 assistance for things like insurance deductibles, tree removal, and dumpster rentals. The hotline that the county set up for residents is also closed. Parts of the Northeast were battered by flash floods Monday night, and now parts of the South are bracing for similar weather. At least 2 people were killed in the floods in New Jersey. Jen Sullivan is tracking the extreme weather.
Heavy rains pounding parts of the Northeast Monday night, crippling travel for millions. Drivers in New York City dodging flooded roadways as more than 2 inches of rain fell in an hour. Rushing waters pouring into subway cars. Water spewing from tunnels underground at this subway station in Midtown Manhattan. Emergency crews rescuing this driver whose car got stuck in knee-deep water.
Let's pull over.
A state of emergency was declared in New Jersey Monday night.
I couldn't get in my car last night because it was flooded out.
Cars left covered in mud from all the rain.
I've seen water gushing out of the roadways. I've never experienced that, almost like a geyser.
Governor Phil Murphy assessing the damage Tuesday.
This clearly was a significant weather event.
One of the hardest hit areas was in Plainfield, where rainfall totals reached 3 to 5 inches. One home exploded due to an apparent gas leak. Fortunately, no one was hurt.
We're seeing more of this, and the intensity is so more frequent and more intensity.
The storms temporarily halting air travel in parts of the tri-state area, which is home to some of the busiest airports in the country. The threat of more scattered storms and heavy rain stretching across the mid-Atlantic and South Tuesday. Meanwhile, out west, people are dealing with sweltering heat and wildfire threats. The iconic red rocks of the Grand Canyon blanketed in smoke as firefighters battle nearby flames. The dry, hot conditions combined with wind increasing the threat for possible fires. In New York, I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Back here at home, Utica
Care facility in the region, go to cnybrainandspine.com.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. On this Wednesday, we are tracking some high heat and humidity. If you thought yesterday was warm, well, today is even warmer. Downtown Utica, outside early this morning. It is a beautiful start to the day today. Yeah, a little hazy. We still have some lingering wildfire smoke that will slowly exit throughout the morning and afternoon. But still, the temperatures to start your day today are in the mid-60s. Still a little humid out there. And overall, it's a pretty pleasant morning. We take a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We are looking at dry conditions across all of the Mohawk Valley, North Country, and Southern valleys. But when we head into this afternoon, it's going to warm up quickly. We hit the low 90s by 2 to 4 p.m. And we also have, of course, that high humidity along with it, too. You factor that in, that feels like temperature will be in the mid to upper 90s. So if you are outside today, pack some extra water, stay hydrated. The key here is going to be an incredibly hot day today. Same thing for tomorrow. Again, that wildfire smoke we're tracking this morning is going to slowly whisk away by the afternoon as that south wind kicks in, the same wind that's ushering in all this heat and humidity. So what's in store for us following today and tomorrow? We'll take a look at this right here. So we got this cold front that's moving in from the northwest. Now, sometimes when we say cold fronts, maybe it doesn't really impact us all too much, but this cold front is going to produce some impacts that you'll definitely notice when you head outside Friday. Well, let's take a look at the skycast here. So, due to that high heat and humidity, we basically are just treading a fine line for a sudden downpour to fire up. You can see them, especially north and west Utica here, they pass their way east. They're mainly driven by elevation. There's not any major forcing here, so if you live in the foothills of some higher elevations, for example, just north of the Mohawk Valley or in the southern valleys, you have a higher chance of seeing a downpour than if you are in the Mohawk Valley itself. Thursday, we got a similar situation here, near 90 degrees with that high heat and humidity. Then that cold front works through, and we cool down into the 50s by Friday morning, into the 70s by Friday afternoon. Get this, refreshing humidity. When was the last time we said that here? It's been so humid, so hot. You got another hot one today and tomorrow, but then by Friday it moves in. It's going to be a fantastic evening. Have any Friday plans? And a lot of folks ready to get out and about and enjoy the nice weather. Well, you couldn't ask for better weather for Friday and even for Saturday. Low humidity and lots of sun.
Yeah, and a lot going on, too, this weekend. This is the time of year with community festivals. We'll hear about one coming up in Mug Club, but you've got the Bavarian Fest coming up Friday, Saturday, Sunday. St. Mary Mount Carmel Feast is Friday, Saturday, I also believe Sunday. So a lot going on. So if the weather's nice, those folks should do pretty well, and they're fantastic opportunities as well. So, all right, Eric, we'll check in with you again shortly. Time now, 5. Good morning, and thank you for joining us this half hour. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary this week. We're going to start this half hour with a check of that Storm Tracker 2 forecast, and it's hazy, it's hot, and it's humid, the 3 H's, and that's not going away, but
yeah, it's been such a hot stretch, and it's only going to get hotter today. Even yesterday it was still somewhat warm, but today you're going to definitely feel it. In fact, starting out this morning, it's not really too bad. In fact, it's a beautiful start. We are in the 60s across the Mohawk Valley. There is some fog trying its best to form in the southern tier, of course, slowly moving in to parts of the southern valleys, and some very minor sections of the Mohawk Valley, but much of the area clear, hazy conditions, the key here today. A lot of this wildfire smoke is going to slowly shift north as a south wind kicks in, and along with that south wind, we're going to say goodbye to wildfire smoke and hello to higher temperatures and higher humidity. Radar at this hour is entirely dry. In our next 12 hours, you can see here just how warm it gets. The regular temperature hits 90, 91 degrees. Feels like temperature or heat index approaches the upper 90s. So it's one of those days you want to stay hydrated if you spend time outside, but still, if you're outside and you're, say, for example, splash pads and whatnot, as long as you got some sunscreen, go out and enjoy this summer-like weather we're going to have today, even for tomorrow, too. We're tracking a few downpours, though. We'll talk about those, plus what follows this heat stretch coming up in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning, President...
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise. To start, before we even show our photo of the day, I do want to go back on the fact that a year ago today, the Rome tornado, not just, of course, the Rome tornado, several other tornadoes spawned over the New York State area in what was our second tornado outbreak for the state in less than 24 hours. It was a very active year last year, and especially here locally on the 16th of July, an MCS moved into our area. This one, tornadoes along that line of thunderstorms. And a year ago today, this all took place, and again, thankfully, we're not tracking anything like this, but it's just recapping how lucky we were that in Rome itself, no one was killed in that tornado, despite how strong it was. An EF2, not too often do you see EF2s in our area. So, our photo of the day today, on the lighter note here, check out this amazing shot of Verona Beach, taken by Diane. And it's a great thing that we have a lot of this amazing scenery here in our area. A sunset over a giant lake here in the central New York region. So shout out to those of you watching from Verona Beach this morning. If you have a photo like this you'd like to share with us, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. Big changes are coming to how students and parents will.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
The 3 H's today, hazy, hot, and humid. And in fact, you just saw on the tower cam right there. The radar also picking up on dry conditions across all of central New York. Now, as we head throughout the morning, we're going to warm up quickly, going from the 60s up into the 80s, eventually low 90s this afternoon. Dew points or humidity levels near tropical levels today. You factor in that, and it's going to be extremely hot. Feels like temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. It's one of those days you want to make sure you find ways to stay cool, stay hydrated. When it comes to the wildfire smoke we were tracking yesterday, yes, it's still hazy out there today. We got a little bit present here in the Mohawk Valley. That's going to exit to our north throughout the day as that south wind begins to kick in. And so, what drives our weather today? Well, we've got just this slow-moving warm front moving into our area. It's enough to fire up a few storms here and there over the next couple of days, so today as well as tomorrow. Biggest risk for these, mainly heavy rainfalls, a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, but also maybe some embedded wind gusts, but still, heavy rain the biggest concern. Temperatures peaking in the low 90s. Again, feels like temperatures even higher. A few scattered thunderstorms this afternoon. We quiet down tonight, and then tomorrow, a few more storms could pass over us. Then by Thursday night, a cold front moves through, and this will usher in a big change in the weather. We head into Friday, 70s, sunshine, low humidity. We look at a beautiful stretch of weather as we head into Friday and Saturday. Have any Friday or Saturday plans? You've got fantastic weather for it. We warm back up again into the low 80s with some storm chances by the beginning of next week. We'll be right back.
News with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And good Wednesday morning to you. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary today. Katrina's back tomorrow. I'll try to do this week, but Gary's off this week. Katrina's back in tomorrow. He's Eric Gage. Go ahead.
I'll be here all week. You're stuck with me all week. But this morning, yeah, it's a comfortable start. We have some heat, warmer heat than yesterday as we're entering 90-plus degree temperatures. So here it comes. We're in late July. It's this time of year.
Exactly.
Let's take a look at those temperatures this morning. Yeah, it's not too bad of a start. You're waking up, you head outside. Yeah, it's t-shirt weather out there. 60s, warming up into the 70s, but then that heat ramps up. We just bypass the 70s and 80s and head straight for the 90s by this afternoon. Maybe you're thinking of any 90s songs. I don't know why I'm just thinking that right there. But still, downtown Utica, out there in the distance, a live vantage point here from our tower cam on Smith Hill and Deerfield. It's still a bit hazy out there. We're tracking that wildfire smoke that we saw yesterday. It is going to slowly push its way north throughout the morning and afternoon as that south wind kicks in. So we can see here right now the winds are a little bit more westerly at this time, but we're going to see that shift progressively throughout the morning, and that means those temperatures climb quickly. You know what I mean? We're saying we're bypassing the 70s after 2 hours, in the 80s, eventually low 90s. Feels like temperatures even higher. And yes, after a sunny start, there's a chance for a couple of thunderstorms to pass over us. The biggest risk being heavy rainfall. We're going to track those, plus what we can expect following this very hot and humid stretch by the end of the week in that full forecast. Steve?
Eric, thanks. New this morning, 1 year ago today, a devastating EF2 tornado struck the city of Rome, and recovery is continuing. Buildings were destroyed and then demolished. A church steeple came crashing to the ground. Walls were blown out, roofs peeled back, and the B-52 Memorial even knocked from its platform at Griffiths. Remarkably, no one died. Today we'll have some special coverage to mark the anniversary. Also later today, Connected Community Schools will host a block party. It's from 2 to 6 on North James Street in Rome, again celebrating resiliency. The community is once again making sure 6-year-old twin sisters killed in last month's tornado in Clark Mills are not forgotten, and at the same time support their mom. Tottown Daycare and their families are hosting a fresh lemonade stand with lemons donated by Giuliano's Greenhouses. It's this Friday from 10 to noon. Tottown is on Alyssa Circle in Utica. Emily and Kenny Bisson were killed when a tree came down on their Clark Mills house back on June 22nd. Proceeds of the lemonade stand will go to their mom, Kaylee. The application period has closed for the relief fund to help victims of the June 22nd tornado and storms. Oneida County is currently processing more than 550 applications from residents in Clark Mills and other parts of the town of Kirkland. Now, the relief fund was a partnership with the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties and offered up to $5,000 in assistance for things like insurance deductibles, tree removal, and dumpster rentals. The hotline that the county set up for residents is also now closed. One Texas camp reopens after deadly floods tore through the area. Here's latest from reporter Destiny Fuller.
Our maintenance staff lives on site and was awakened knowing that there had been some flooding, and went down and took some pictures and actually sent them to me. And it was the highest that I've ever seen the river get on our property.
Susan Osborne is the CEO of Camp, a year-round program for people up to age 55 with special needs. During the summer, they live on these campgrounds.
You go through the hill country and go through these little small roads into places. It's unrecognizable and a little shocking.
The Riverside Camp reopened for campers Monday, bringing a small piece of normalcy back to Centerpoint. They started getting volunteers just a few days after the floods hit that 4th of July Friday.
The following Tuesday, we had a gentleman approach us saying that he wanted to help and to get a work group together to help us start clearing the riverfront. And we were thinking, a small kind of group of maybe 50 people coming out with their chainsaws.
Instead, they got more than 1,500.
It was so heartwarming to just see people that had never heard of camp before, and some of them even in this area that didn't know we were here, to show up at our gates and say, they wanted to work, and rolled up their sleeves and made it happen.
This waterfront, which once gave campers a classic summer camp experience, is destroyed. Equipment that once stood here completely washed out in the floods. And while they prepare to rebuild with the help of neighbors and friends, they're also ready to pay it forward to those who lost everything.
We have put the call out to say anything that we can do to help our neighboring camps, we are ready to do that and help in any way. And we want them to be open just like us. But there's some of them that just aren't there. They haven't taken that path yet.
And that was Destiny.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now is 6:13. As you head out to work today, it's going to be a very nice and pleasant drive to your place of work. It's going to be a sunny start. Still a little hazy out there, but temperatures will be in the 60s. But as we head throughout the morning and afternoon, it's going to warm up very quickly. A look at traffic conditions out there this morning. Green across the board. No accidents to report of early today. And again, as you see right here, it's mainly quiet. The exception to the traffic, or at least to any impacts, would be some fog. You can see some of that forming right outside of Herkimer as you head into some sections of the Mohawk Valley. It is trying its best to form, but much of the area witnessing completely clear skies. Radar at this time is dry, and this morning expect dry conditions. Temperatures go from the 60s up into the 80s and low 90s by this afternoon with a few isolated storms. So we'll track those storms plus the high heat and humidity when we look ahead to this afternoon and even including tomorrow. Details on that coming up in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. The best in television get honored each year.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Time now is 6:19 on this Wednesday morning. It's a beautiful start to the day today. A live look outside in Utica. You got blue skies. Yes, some faint haze from wildfire smoke, which is slowly going to exit throughout the morning. And temperatures in the 60s. Very comfortable start today. Sunrise time sitting at 5:39 this morning. Radar at this hour showing quiet conditions. When we head throughout the day today, we're expecting to see a few storms, disorganized storms, fire up due to that increased heat and humidity throughout the day today. It's not really going to be organized, so it's one of those hit or miss type scenarios. But all of us are going to be experiencing the high heat and humidity today. Again, comfortable start in the low 90s by this afternoon. With the dew points in the low 70s, upper 60s, that feels like temperature will be very high. Make sure you find ways to stay cool today and stay hydrated. That's the key here with the high heat and the humidity. So again, back to that wildfire smoke. There is still some haze this morning. It's going to lift north throughout the afternoon, and then by tomorrow, all the wildfire smoke is gone. So it was only a temporary effect of that smoke here locally. So aside from the wildfire smoke, what follows this? Well, we have a few storms that could fire up here and there. As you can see here, generally unsettled conditions pass over us. But watch what happens Thursday night. A cold front moves through. Not just any cold front. This is a cold front that could usher in some changes to the weather, potentially in the form of changes in humidity. We'll talk about that here in a second, but first let's talk about the rain chances today and tomorrow. Sunshine to start. Watch some of these downpours begin to fire up. These are not widespread storms, but inside these downpours, there's a lot of humidity in the atmosphere. There could be some pretty heavy rainfall. There is a low but non-zero risk for flash flooding inside some of these storms. We'll track them throughout the day today and tomorrow. Again, not a huge concern. Also some gusty winds as well, but these are not one of those scenarios where it's too concerning, so there's no alert day in effect today or tomorrow. Then by Thursday night, that cold front moves through. We're still in the 80s, but watch what happens Friday. Lingering clouds, maybe some light drizzle in the morning. Sunshine moves in. Now notice the high temperature here. We're going to be in the mid-70s. How about that humidity? It's going to be refreshing humidity by Friday afternoon. If you have any Friday, even any Saturday plans outside, it's going to be a fantastic stretch of weather Friday through Saturday. Yeah, a few storms could move in by Sunday, but at least for the start of the weekend, it's going to be great weather-wise. And at least for today, although it's hot and humid, if you have a birthday, make sure you enjoy it. Here's the list.
Again, thank you for joining us this half hour. I'm Steve McMurray in for Gary Liberatore today. Let's start this half hour with a check of the all-important Storm Tracker 2 forecast, and for that, we go to meteorologist Eric Gage in the Storm Tracker 2 Weather Center. Another hot one this morning, Eric.
Yeah, that's right, and we warm up quickly into the 90s this afternoon, so it's a very hot and humid day today. To start, we're in the 60s right now. T-shirt weather. You head outside to work today. You don't need a jacket by any means. In fact, it's a sunny start. Beautiful beginning, with some patchy fog developing in some locations as well. We take a look at the radar at this time. In fact, before we get to that, I want to show the haze that's taking place here locally from that wildfire smoke, which is expected to exit throughout the morning and afternoon. This was more of an issue yesterday, but today we're going to see less and less of this haze from wildfire smoke and more of the haze from the actual humidity. And then we take a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, where things so far are looking dry. We are tracking the potential for a few downpours or thunderstorms this afternoon. They're not widespread, but they're disorganized and sporadic. We'll track those plus the heat and what follows this high heat and humidity today and tomorrow as we enter the end of the week and into the weekend. Steve?
All right, so some relief is in sight. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, new this morning, President Trump.
Omni, we've got your back.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Good morning, everybody. We'll, of course, have more coverage later today, but I do want to start out this morning by talking about the one-year anniversary of the Rome tornado that moved through our area and the effects that it had on our local community. Yes, we've had tornadoes before. Tornadoes are not an impossible thing to take place here in New York State. But I think what took place last year in 2024, I think really removed our shield of invincibility that we don't get affected by major tornadoes. And that was the case in Rome. And I think that walking the streets of Rome last year with photojournalist Keith Hunt, I got to experience the effects of what could happen with some of these storms here. And a reminder that weather is always something we always have to take seriously. And one of those things that I've realized a year from now, or a year since this passed, is that no matter what, we're going to be here for you when it comes to situations like this. When there's severe storms to track, when there's potential damage that we have to follow as well, we're going to focus on it, and we're going to make sure you guys have the up-to-date information. It's one of the things that it's in our job description, and it's something that hopefully it can put you guys with some peace of mind, despite how terrifying some of this weather can be. But to a lighter note now, I want to showcase our photo of the day. This one takes us to Verona Beach, a photo by Diane, an amazing shot right there of the sunset over the beautiful waters of Oneida Lake there. And you have a photo of a golden hour sunset you'd like to share with us. Send it to the link right there in the top of your screen, WKTV.com/weather/Bix. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. Big changes are coming to how students and parents will borrow federal money to help pay for college under President Trump's big, beautiful bill. There'll be limits on borrowing and a reduction in the number of repayment options you could choose.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
On this Wednesday morning, it's a sunny start, a dry start, and pretty comfortable out there. Take a live look outside in Utica at this time. It's a little hazy out there, especially to the north where that wildfire smoke is slowly exiting our area. And although we're seeing plenty of blue skies today, we're going to see the chance for a few storms passing over us. But I think the main story today, not so much the rain chances, but also the heat. And we'll get to that here in a second here. But the radar at this time, again, it's dry out there this morning. We begin comfortably in the 60s, climbing into the 90s this afternoon. Between 2 and 4 p.m., the brunt of the heat. The humidity also extremely high when it comes to the feels like temperature. Yes, mid to upper 90s. So today, if you're outside, stay hydrated, find ways to stay cool. Again, earlier in the broadcast, we shared with you some of those cooling center locations in all of our counties. So the wildfire smoke is still present this morning. It's going to lift its way north throughout the day today, and it's not a concern by tomorrow. It's a short-lived thing with the smoke in our area. But when it comes to rainfall, that's a different story. We're going to see the arrival of heat, humidity, and a few sudden downpours and thunderstorms both today and tomorrow. However, a cold front moves through Thursday evening, and that might usher in at least a significant change in the weather, something that you probably haven't seen in quite a while here. So it's in the 60s this morning, climbing into the 90s this afternoon. By 1 to 5 p.m., isolated thunderstorms. They become more scattered in the late evening and early overnight. Then by tomorrow morning, a few clouds, a few downpours here and there, sunshine, and a passing thunderstorm. It's overall pretty disorganized of a rain system here. Then by Thursday night, we'll see that cold front work its way through. Now, we've mentioned cold fronts and the lack of any significant changes coming with it, but this one is different here. So we begin in the 50s Friday morning, 70s Friday afternoon. The humidity, refreshing, comfortable levels. We haven't seen that in quite a while. So if you're wondering when is the best time to spend time outside, Friday and Saturday, beautiful stretch of weather with sunshine and low humidity, high temperatures in the 70s. We'll be right back.
Gears now and another steamy one, and it was comfortable this morning, and you hit the nail on the head. You said it was going to warm up quickly, and boy did it. It's sticky out right now.
Already climbing quickly. In fact, heat advisories in effect for the Mohawk Valley. Let's take a look at where they are. Again, it's mainly in those lower elevations of Oneida, Madison, Herkimer, and Montgomery counties, of course, heading out toward the Syracuse area and down into the Capital Region, Hudson Valley. Heat advisories are put into effect with heat index values expected to climb in the upper 90s near 100. Then you get into the excessive heat, which is, of course, with heat index values above 100, potentially even 110, 120. So today, 92 heat index. It is a very hot one out there today. And we're still tracking mainly dry weather, but with all this heat, all this humidity working its way in, there's potential for a few storms passing over us as we head into this evening. Now, temperatures on paper at 86 in the Mohawk Valley. Radar is dry, but notice here out in western New York, a couple of storms starting to fire up. We'll track the potential for these as we head throughout the afternoon. In fact, closer to sunset, in fact, after sunset is our best chance for these storms to begin to move in. We'll have a more detailed timing of them, plus what follows this unsettled and hot stretch of weather in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. It was 1 year ago today that people found themselves running to their basements at home and at work as a tornado cut a path of destruction through the city of Rome, forever changing its landscape. Among those running to the basement, Rome Mayor Jeffrey Lanigan, along with other city employees. They spent about 10 nerve-wracking minutes down there, and when they went back up to the second floor of City Hall and looked out the window, what they saw left them in pure shock.
And that's when I looked over and saw St. Mary's steeple had come down and came right down into the church. And then I looked up Washington Street, and all the trees were just folded right over onto the street. At that point, you know, I realized that how bad this storm actually was.
It was a dark time, but there were bright spots as the community pulled together and helped one another rebuild. But there are still remnants and reminders. News Channel 2's Jolene Ferris takes us back on the Live at 5 News Hour and News Channel 2 at 6. And a bit later in this broadcast, meteorologist Eric Gage has a look back from a meteorological point of view. The application period has closed for the relief fund to help victims of the June 22nd tornado and storms. Oneida County is currently processing more than 550 applications to Clark Mills and Town of Kirkland residents and other affected areas. A partnership with the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties that offered up to $5,000 worth of assistance for things like insurance deductibles, tree removal, and dumpster rentals. The hotline that the county set up for residents is also closed at this time. It's another round of severe weather today with serious downpours and flooding inundating parts of the Midwest and the South. It comes after major storms in the Northeast this week took a deadly turn. NBC's Shaquille Brewster is now in Minneapolis with more.
Hi there. Well, I'm sure you see some of that rain behind me. It's been coming down on and off here in Minneapolis. Part of the system that's moving through the Midwest, bringing heavy rain and thunderstorms to not just Minnesota, but also the state of Wisconsin, even Chicago under risk of some severe weather today. And of course, there's that flooding threat that we've been watching in different pockets of the country. Overnight, we were looking in Virginia where you saw some heavy rain causing some of those flood warnings and flood alerts there. Of course, that coming after the historic flooding that we saw in the Northeast, flooding that we know has unfortunately turned deadly when officials in New Jersey say 2 people were in a car at the height of some of that rainfall earlier this week and when their vehicle got swept away. That flooding leading to those apocalyptic-like scenes in New York City, snarling that commute home Monday night. You saw that video of the subways completely inundated with flood waters as they saw, again, that record-setting rain. There was also that home in New Jersey. Just look at that video. This is in North Plainfield, New Jersey, where officials say a house exploded from what they describe as a likely gas leak, but they say that the residents of the home were not inside and no one was injured because they were evacuated from their home seeking higher ground because of those floodwaters. The story today for that same region will be the heat and humidity. You have about 70 million people waking up to heat advisories today as temperatures in some areas are expected to soar above 100 degrees. You have folks saying, make sure you're watching out for those cooling centers and doing what you can to stay out of the sun, as there's a threat of more flooding and more rain for many other parts of the country. Back to you.
Yeah, that was NBC's Shaquille Brewster in Minneapolis.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today, the heat is on. High humidity and all the sort, as we typically see in mid to late July. Live look at downtown Utica. Sun is shining out there. Wildfire smoke slowly exiting. Air quality is improving. Temperature of 86. Feels like temperature of 92 with that tropical humidity out there. So another very hot one today. And much of the expected storm activity today will actually be taking place later on this evening. So if you have today off, or of course the kids are around, of course this is a great pool day. Go out and enjoy some splash pads too. It's still summertime. Yeah, it's hot out, but as long as you stay cool and hydrated, go out and enjoy all this heat. So when it comes to storm potential, we had a level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather. Now this is something we're not really concerned about today, but we still want to keep a close eye on these storms. They're going to move in closer to sunset. In fact, the highest chance of them arriving will be after sunset between, say, 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. And these would have the biggest risk being heavy rainfall from the excessive humidity in the atmosphere. Secondary risks being some stronger wind gusts embedded in these storms, but still the key here is a lot of this is going to end by the early overnight hours, and then we experience another round of them tomorrow, but we'll get to that in a second here. For now, again, we're focusing on the wildfire smoke, which is exiting to our north and clearing the air quality for the next few days. So we look at the bigger picture here. Watch as these showers and storms begin to move into our area. Some of them are going to be hit or miss, not really widespread. Another round of scattered thunderstorms tomorrow. We're going to closely watch what happens in the North Country tomorrow. We're waiting for more data to come in at this hour, but some of it points to potentially a strong storm or two firing up in the Adirondacks. We'll keep you posted on that. Still, though, we head into Friday, and there is an update on the weather pattern, something we haven't seen in quite a while. So today, sunshine, high heat, high humidity, a few passing thunderstorms over our area in the late evening after sunset. Then tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds, similar temperatures in the upper 80s, low 90s. And then after a mix of sun, clouds, and a few thunderstorms, things dry up overnight into early Friday morning. Then lingering drizzle and clouds turn to temperatures in the 70s by the afternoon. And although it's a lot cooler, it's also a lot less humid. Friday afternoon looking fantastic weather-wise. Temperatures beautiful, humidity comfortable. Same thing for Saturday. And overall, the temperatures heading into the end of, or at least beginning of next week, shaping up a little bit on the warmer side with a few storms, but we're saying goodbye to the extremely high heat humidity we're seeing today and tomorrow.
Yeah, one more day and then it gets a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, as we mentioned,
1 year ago, on the 16th of July, central New York would be changed forever. Sure, we had tornadoes before, but they were seen as a rarity. The Rome tornado removed our illusion of invincibility. Images coming in minutes after the tornado rolled through the city showed devastation you usually see from states far away. Flipped cars, collapsed roofs, debris everywhere. I walked through the city the day after with photojournalist Keith Hunt. I got to talk to residents, ask how they were feeling. Most were just still in disbelief. Seeing this happen in your own neighborhoods, in your own backyards, is a terrifyingly surreal experience. But what caused this devastating event? The answer lies with what was an approaching MCS, mesoscale convective system. You may have heard the name before, but if not, it's just a fancy word for an organized cluster of thunderstorms. But why are organized storms unique? The dynamics of the atmosphere act like a fluid. When storms organize, there's a lot of moving and rotating winds, more so than a single thunderstorm. This, along with other ingredients, creates the necessary recipe for severe weather. Around 3:30 in the afternoon, a line of thunderstorms entered central New York. Along the line, embedded rotating winds. If tornadoes form from storms of this nature, the lead time for warnings is significantly reduced. Rotations could spin up in the snap of a finger. That was the case with the Rome tornado. One radar scan was enough for a warning to go out with minutes to spare. The tornado struck the center of the city, launching debris with 135-mile-per-hour winds. We could even see the debris on the radar. Officially, it was an EF2 tornado, and it was one of the most significant of the 31 record-setting tornadoes that impacted New York State in 2024. Eric Gage, News Channel 2.
Coming up, forecast in this half hour. Once again, let's head over to meteorologist Eric Gage. And steamy out there. You see the mercury was at 86 degrees, but it feels warmer than that.
Yeah, such high humidity, so you add in that factor, you got the heat index in the 90s already. In fact, look at that heat index across the state. We're still climbing. In fact, 95 in Syracuse, 94 in Poughkeepsie, pretty much every single location in upstate New York in the mid to upper 80s minimum. In fact, I think it looks to be Syracuse is the warmest spot here at 95 degrees. So the warm pockets here, and it's going to continue to climb in the upper 90s this afternoon with all that sunshine, all that humidity. Very hot, very humid day. From our vantage point on Smith Hill here in Deerfield, yes, still a little hazy out, but that haze is getting replaced by, instead of wildfire smoke, actual humidity. Still, though, on paper, we are in the 80s, so though your thermometer outside might show that temperature, it will feel a lot hotter. So right now it's dry, but with that heat and humidity, we're closely watching a few of these thunderstorms. They're firing up out in the Finger Lakes region at this time. This is the zone where the strongest storms are expected today. But as we enter closer to sunset and beyond, between 8 and midnight, that's our best chance for storms to fire up tonight. And with those, they're not a high concern for severe weather. Non-zero, but still biggest risk would be some heavy rainfall. We'll track the timing of those in a lot more detail, plus what follows today and tomorrow's hot weather in that full forecast. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. The Utica Public Library is celebrating.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today, we began with pleasant conditions, but it warmed up very quickly, already in the 90s, the heat index. A live look at downtown Utica. Looks like a beautiful summer day out there, but again, you can go out and enjoy it. Just make sure you stay cool and you stay hydrated. There's a lot of pools outside. It's a great pool day, by the way. Splash pads, you name it, as long as you have ways to cool down this heat. Enjoy the summertime, because you know eventually down the road when you have to wear a winter coat outside, you'll be longing for days like today. 86, sunny, feels like 92 with that tropical humidity out there early this afternoon. And the radar at this time is dry. We're closely tracking, though, a few downpours out west. They're going to move their way into our area closer to sunset and beyond, but at least for much of the day today, expect mainly dry weather. When it comes to storm risk this evening, the main concern being heavy rainfall, maybe some embedded wind gusts, but a lot of this activity again happens between 8 p.m. and midnight, and then following that, things quiet down a little bit. Wildfire smoke was a story yesterday that's since exiting to our north slowly, and that wildfire haze is getting replaced by humid haze. So we've got Still hazy conditions out there today, just with a little bit less air pollutants. And as of the latest air quality readings near the Mohawk Valley, air quality is improving. So we have that for you. Still, though, it's very humid today and tomorrow. But take a look at this. Following today, or tomorrow, I should say, Friday and Saturday, comfortable humidity. The reason for it? Well, after the surge of humidity and a few storms the next few days, this cold front right here moves its way through our area, and it's going to whisk away a lot of that humidity as we head into the end of the week. So we talk about today being hot and humid, a few pop-up showers and storms, especially closer to sunset, and then this does wind down by the overnight hours. Tomorrow morning, lingering showers, sunshine in the afternoon, and then back to a few passing thunderstorms by the evening. That cold front works through Thursday night and Friday morning. Lingering clouds, temperatures in the 50s, so already a cool start. We climb into the 70s by the afternoon. Now, the difference here is we're seeing mid-70s. Obviously, it's cooler than what we're seeing today and tomorrow, but the main thing here, much lower humidity. So if you were living by the AC the past week or so, today, or at least Friday is one of those days, open up those windows, turn off that AC, let all that fresh air enter your house, your apartments, even drive, take the roof down, have a convertible. Enjoy the outdoor weather Friday and Saturday. It's fantastic weather. Have any plans? Again, as you mentioned, Steve, there's a lot of events happening this weekend. Festivals. You have sunshine and dry weather and low humidity. It's great weather for that.
That's trifecta right there. All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, one of the coolest...
The news with Kristen Copeland.
Many Romans and people who work in the city remember what they were doing a year ago today. It's because for some of them, the answer is trying to survive an EF2 tornado by running into basements or low ground. The destruction was unlike anything we've ever seen around here. Just as remarkable, the recovery. Here's News Channel 2's Jolene Ferris.
We didn't really know the significance of the damage until we went and looked out the windows.
Downtown was just about gone.
You really didn't even think you were, in Rome.
July 16th, 2024 was just a regular stormy Tuesday, until it wasn't.
And when the storm first hit, I was on this floor and we actually ran down to the basement with all the rest of the employees.
It soon became clear this was no run-of-the-mill summer storm. People at their desks at work abandoned post with survival the sudden priority. When the winds died down, disbelief.
The first thing at that point was, who's hurt, who's under that rubble.
And that's when I looked over and saw St. Mary's steeple had come down and came right down into the church.
And the power went out. We didn't really know the significance of the damage until we went and looked out the windows.
Georgian Arms Apartments in Rome is home to seniors and those with disabilities.
I heard the wind, and I'm looking out the window, and I mean, you could just see stuff going by.
Damage at Georgian Arms was catastrophic.
So the roof from the DSS building right next door is what came through the building.
Several county offices were damaged.
And the Burger King sign was in our parking lot. The Burger King sign from the boulevard was in our back lot on West Dominic.
This isn't Kansas or Oklahoma. Local leaders not versed in such things wrote the book as they went along, starting with a directive from the mayor of the mess.
And we sat in a room and I said, listen, I don't care what anybody's, past relationships were with other people. We're all going to work together to try to get us back to some bit of normalcy.
The coming days revealed the angry EF2 tornado's path of destruction. Elected leaders from all levels of government came to Rome to see firsthand. But the numbers didn't add up, and there would be no aid from FEMA to help the city repair itself.
So you have to hit the $37 million threshold through FEMA, and we came in, it was like 29 million was our total.
The Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties and Oneida County, which donated around $1 million, established a recovery fund for Romans, delivering roughly $1.5 million for things like insurance deductibles and tree removal. Then, during a spectacularly dark time, rays of light.
There's water in there too for you guys.
Mazzaferro's Meats and Deli handed out free food and water.
Everybody had each other's backs. It didn't matter if you were neighbors that were fighting the day before. You were out there helping them get the trees off their cars. And
recovery was a marathon, not a sprint. The Rome DMV didn't reopen till March, and that's also when Georgian Arms tenants were able to move back into their homes.
I'm glad to be here, though. Oh my God, you don't know. When I got the day to move in, I was so happy.
Some homes are still boarded and vacant. 2 big buildings at 328 Ridge Street and the old Long's Auto Electric on Erie Boulevard still need to come down and likely will in the next month. But for now, the two offer a stark reminder of how much power Mother Nature has and how little power we have, until it comes time to bounce back. Jolene Ferris, News Channel 2.
Coming up at 5:30, a block party to celebrate Rome's resilience. This is a look at North James Street, one of the hardest hit areas during the tornado. Connected Community Schools is hosting a party. And if you remember, it was one of the first groups to hit the street when the storm cleared and offer food to people without power. News Channel 2's Luke Radel is live at the party at the bottom of the hour. Let's get you caught up on today's forecast and the current conditions with meteorologist Jill Reel.
Yeah, the big story today is just hot and humid outside. Once again, we reached 90 degrees. It's our 6th day of 90-degree weather.
But not in a row.
Not in a row, so it's not a heat wave. But yes, it is warm and quite humid outside. We're still sitting at 92 degrees at 5 p.m. And then you got to factor in that humidity. That dew point is at 70, so it feels like 98 degrees outside. It is very uncomfortable across the region. And I am keeping an eye on some scattered showers and a few pop-up thunderstorms to our west. This looks to approach our region as we head towards sunset. As of right now, nothing looks severe, but we'll keep a close eye on these showers and storms as they continue to push to the north and to the east for this evening. So what are we tracking? Well, another day of heat and humidity for tomorrow. And then some relief. We're talking about beautiful weather as we head into the weekend with temperatures in the 70s and those dew points dropping as well. We'll track those showers and thunderstorms coming up. Kristen?
Right. Jill, thank you. Following breaking news.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Jill Reel.
Another hot and humid evening across central New York with temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s. Officially at Griffith Park, we are at 92 degrees, which is also our high so far today. And we're seeing temperatures all across New York State in the upper 80s to low 90s. And that trend is going to continue for one more day before some relief moves in just in time for the weekend. And of course, it's not just the heat, it's the humidity as well. Our dew point right now is at 70 degrees. And that's when we get into more of that tropical category. So when you factor the heat and the humidity as you step outside, it feels like 98 degrees at Griffith Park. So if you're thinking about maybe going for some ice cream or going for a walk, I'd wait a couple of hours. The ice cream will melt pretty fast if you're heading to any ice cream stores for this evening. But again, those temperatures will slowly drop back into the 80s as we go throughout the next couple of hours. I'm also tracking that humidity or that break in humidity just in time for the weekend. So one more day tomorrow, one more day of tropical air, and then it's going to be comfortable. We're talking about dew points in the 50s as we head towards a Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. So some refreshing weather moving into the region. You can give those air conditioners a break as we head towards the end of the work week and into the weekend. Now, quiet conditions right now on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, but I am tracking some showers and some storms off to our west as we zoom out. This is all associated with a low pressure system to our west. Now, out ahead of that low pressure system, we do have some pop-up showers and some thunderstorms. They will slowly move to the north and to the east as we head towards tonight. So our best chance for any showers will be after sunset, continuing into the first half of tonight. And then tomorrow, all that rain to our west will begin to move in. We're not talking about widespread rain, but some scattered showers in the morning and then some thunderstorms possible as we head towards Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. But once that cold front moves through Thursday night, some refreshing air by Friday. So on our Skycast again for this evening, dry throughout the evening. Once that sun sets after about 8:30, 8:45, that's when we'll keep an eye on some pop-up showers and thunderstorms. So by 10 p.m., you'll notice some greens, some yellows, some oranges showing up. Now, we're not expecting any severe weather, but any thunderstorms that do develop could contain some heavy rain. As we go throughout the overnight, those showers will dissipate. We're going to wake up tomorrow morning Look at that, 77 degrees to start for your Thursday. Now, a few sprinkles in the morning, a better chance for some showers and a few thunderstorms as we head towards Thursday afternoon. So before that rain moves in, we're going to be near 90 degrees. Showers and storms move out by Thursday night with a dry weekend ahead. So for tonight, we're only going to drop back into the low 70s. It's going to be a very humid night. Keep those air conditioners running. One more day of heat and humidity with afternoon showers and some thunderstorms. Temperatures in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. And taking a look at the rest of your forecast, a beautiful stretch of weather, especially for Friday and for Saturday. A few thunderstorms are possible late on Sunday, but not going to complain after tomorrow with a lower heat and humidity.
You know, a year ago today, you and I were here. Actually, you started the newscast before 5 o'clock just to warn people about the storm and what ended up being a tornado in Rome. And again, 1 year later, seems like yesterday.
It did. It really does seem like yesterday.
Let's continue our coverage right now on the anniversary of this EF2 tornado hitting Rome. Meteorologist Eric Gage, he reports on how this tornado formed and how quickly it gained strength.
1 year ago, on the 16th of July, central New York would be changed forever. Sure, we had tornadoes before, but they were seen as a rarity. The Rome tornado removed our illusion of invincibility. Images coming in minutes after the tornado rolled through the city showed devastation you usually see from states far away. Flipped cars, collapsed roofs, debris everywhere. I walked through the city the day after with photojournalist Keith Hunt. I got to talk to residents, ask how they were feeling. Most were just still in disbelief. Seeing this happen in your own neighborhoods, in your own backyards, is a terrifyingly surreal experience. But what caused this devastating event? The answer lies with what was an approaching MCS, mesoscale convective system. You may have heard the name before, but if not, it's just a fancy word for an organized cluster of thunderstorms. But why are organized storms unique? The dynamics of the atmosphere act like a fluid. When storms organize, there's a lot of moving and rotating winds, more so than a single thunderstorm. This, along with other ingredients, creates the necessary recipe for severe weather. Around 3:30 in the afternoon, a line of thunderstorms entered central New York. Along the line, embedded rotating winds. If tornadoes form from storms of this nature, the lead time for warnings is significantly reduced. Rotations could spin up in the snap of a finger. That was the case with the Rome tornado. One radar scan was enough for a warning to go out with minutes to spare. The tornado struck the center of the city, launching debris with 135-mile-per-hour winds. We could even see the debris on the radar. Officially, it was an EF2 tornado, and it was one of the most significant of the 31 record-setting tornadoes that impacted New York State in 2024. Eric Gage, News Channel 2.
Luke Gradle is live from a party on North at the recovery since then. Plus, several new businesses have opened new shops in Little Falls. We are going to speak with the owners about what's drawing them to the city. Second, the application period through Oneida County to get financial help has closed, but Mohawk Valley Community Action Agency is offering another option. On July 23rd at the Clark Mills Fire Department, you can meet with staff from the agency about essential storm-related expenses. That may mean rent, storage and moving costs, car repairs. The outreach event, again, July 23rd, it runs 4 to 6. Oneida County is in the process of processing more than 550 applications for storm relief money. 3 people died in the tornado that hit Clark Mills. Let's get you back to meteorologist Jill Reel.
And for those heading out the door for this evening, maybe you want to take your dog for a walk. Of course, there's Eddie there on our Skycast brought to you by Nissan. It's a little hot. I would try to delay the walk a couple of hours once temperatures get down into the 80s, since that pavement is still quite warm for those puppy paws. If you are heading out the door for this evening, things are looking dry right now on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Tracking just a stray shower just north of Old Forge as you head into Lewis County. There's a better chance for some scattered showers as we head into tonight and into tomorrow as well, because a cold front is moving through. And now that cold front is going to bring us some refreshing air. So yes, another day in the upper 80s, but we're back into the 70s as we head it towards Friday, and low 80s for the weekend. A look at that forecast coming up. Kristen?
State Attorney General Letitia James is suing FEMA for cutting funding for natural disasters. She says the bipartisan Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities program, or BRIC, supports critical infrastructure to protect communities from disaster before they happen. And she's pointing to the floods in Texas. James says the Trump administration has no authority to cut the program. New York and 19 other states filed the lawsuit. New York has 38 BRIC projects throughout the state, totaling more than $380 million. Flash flooding has surged into the spotlight this summer, from Texas to North Carolina to here in the Northeast, record-breaking flood events. Michael Yoshida reports on what's behind the seemingly non-stop weather events.
Heavy rain and deadly flash flooding putting communities across the United States underwater.
It feels like events like last night, again, not just in New Jersey, but as a general matter, are coming more frequently with more intensity.
Summer is flash flood season, when intense daytime heat can fuel thunderstorms and warm air can hold more moisture. But experts say these recent events were more significant for several reasons. Along with high daytime temperatures in parts of the country, we've also seen record levels of atmospheric moisture, which helped drive heavy rainfall that led to deadly flooding in Texas and North Carolina. Summer storms also tend to move more slowly or even stall due to winds in the upper atmosphere being weaker.
And as a result, just deluging places that are not designed to handle that amount of precipitation in that short a period of time.
Recent wildfires also causing problems in areas like Ruidoso, New Mexico, burning away vegetation, and in some areas the fire's extreme heat changing the soil's natural ability to absorb and slow down rainwater. Droughts can have a similar effect too, something we saw amplify deadly flooding in Texas. Urban areas are not immune either, where asphalt pavement and older drain systems can be overrun.
There is a growing recognition in financial markets, in the scientific community, and starting in infrastructure planning, that we are dealing with a much different beast in terms of the weather patterns that we're experiencing, and things have to change.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida reporting.
Here's one for the record books, and a Lowville man is getting the credit. Gulf Coast and the brewing tropical system that's tracking west towards several states. It's drenched parts of Florida. Laura Aguirre brings us more on where the front could be heading and the odds whether experts are giving it to become a tropical depression.
It's already been a summer of devastating and deadly flooding events across several states. And now a new tropical system is swirling toward the U.S. Gulf Coast, where it could strengthen in warm waters over the next few days. Once it gets there, the National Hurricane Center is giving it a medium chance of building into a tropical depression. The same system brought showers and thunderstorms to parts of the Florida Panhandle this morning, on the heels of earlier storms Tuesday that nearly killed 3 vacationers in St. Augustine. Jamie Schuyler and her parents were leaving a pier at the beach after seeing lightning in the distance. Seconds later,
I got struck, but then it kind of knocked me sideways.
Then she looked over and saw her 82-year-old father lying face down.
It struck him in the head and came out his chest. So they had a big hole in his shirt where it came out.
Amazingly, he survived. And Jamie says he was even talking from his ICU bed after being airlifted to a Gainesville hospital. Forecasters predict the most serious flooding risk from this newest tropical system could come later this week and into the weekend, where parts of Alabama, Mississippi, and southeast Louisiana could see between 4 and 8 inches of rain. Should it become a tropical storm, it would be dubbed Dexter, becoming the 4th named storm of this year's Atlantic hurricane season. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
92 degrees atop Smith Hill, 89 in the village of Cooperstown.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Jill Reel.
With a high of 92 degrees today, we have made it to number 6. That means 6 days of 90 degrees plus so far for this summer. And these statistics, of course, are coming from Griffith Park in Rome. And just to put in perspective, we average 5 days of 90 degrees plus for the summer. And we're about halfway through summer, so it looks like we'll be adding to this number, but not in the foreseeable future, which is some good news. Not so good news, we're at 92 degrees at Griffith Park. It is quite hot outside, and that is without the humidity. You factor in that humidity, which is now at 70 degrees, which makes it feel quite tropical outside. It feels like 98. So definitely want to stay hydrated for this evening. If you're going for your evening walk, I would hold off an hour or two, as those temperatures will slowly drop back into the 80s as we head towards this evening. Now, the humidity is going to be around for one more day. So we are talking about tropical weather for your Thursday, but a cold front moves through by Thursday afternoon and evening, and we'll see a big drop in those dew points by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So do expect very comfortable weather, great sleeping weather as we head towards the weekend. I am tracking just one lone shower up in Lewis County on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The majority of the rain is still off to our north and to our west, so we are seeing a few showers just south of Oswego. Also seeing a few showers as you head into Jefferson County. These showers, again, will be slowly moving to the east as we head throughout this evening into tonight. So don't be surprised if there is a pop-up shower after sunset as we zoom out, as that moisture is associated with the low pressure system that's going to bring that cold front tomorrow. But out ahead of that cold front, we do have some scattered showers back to the west, just south of Buffalo. I'll keep an eye on these showers and potential for a few thunderstorms as we go throughout tonight. Primarily after sunset until about midnight is the best chance to see a pop-up shower. Most locations will stay dry. As we head into tomorrow, actual cold front's going to move through, and that's going to give us a better chance for some showers in the morning and a few thunderstorms as we head towards the afternoon. So let's check it out for you on our Skycast. Again, that one lone shower up in Lewis County. As we head towards 10 p.m., you will see some scattered showers moving through the Utica-Rome area down into Madison County. Those will push off to the east. It is going to be a warm and humid night. Leave those air conditioners running tonight, because by tomorrow morning, we're already in the mid-70s for the Mohawk Valley, even Old Forge at 70 degrees. Dry to start, but we will be tracking some showers and some thunderstorms by 1 p.m. These showers and storms will push off to the east as that cold front moves on through. Temperatures will be dropping into the 60s and 50s by Friday morning, so a beautiful start for your Friday, with temperatures warming up into the 70s. So for tonight, muggy and mild. We'll drop back into the low 70s. Again, isolated thunderstorm possible. For tomorrow, hazy, very warm and humid, with temperatures in the upper 80s with showers and thunderstorms, especially during the afternoon. And taking a look at the rest of your forecast, beautiful weather for Friday and for Saturday, low humidity, comfortable temperatures, just an isolated thunderstorm possible as we head towards Sunday afternoon.
News with Kristen Copeland.
1 year ago this moment, Romans were looking at the destruction around them, wondering how they would ever rebuild after an EF2 tornado tore through their city. Some days swiftly, some days slowly, but always, surely, rebuild they did. News Channel 2's Jolene Ferris has a look back.
Who's hurt? Who's under that rubble?
Where the wall came through, she was on the floor.
I know one of the residents here got picked up and went about a half a block. He got picked right up out of his shoes.
Thoughts and memories permanently etched in their minds from 1 year ago today, when an EF2 tornado tore through Rome. Mayor Jeff Flanagan was only 6 months into his first term.
And when the storm first hit, I was on this floor, and we actually ran down to the basement with all the rest of the employees.
It didn't get much less scary once the storm was over.
I looked up Washington Street, and all the trees were just folded right over onto the street. At that point, I realized that how bad this storm actually was.
Miraculously, no one was killed. Now, time to turn to repairing their now post-apocalyptic city.
We sat in a room, and I said, listen, I don't care what anybody's, past relationships were with other people. We're all going to work together to try to get us back to some bit of normalcy. I don't want to hear about, I don't get along with this guy, I don't get along with that guy.
To help homeowners recover, the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties amassed a $1.5 million fund to help with things like tree removal and insurance deductibles. Oneida County donated around $1 million. The community donated, and they cleared and cooked and cared.
There's water in there too for you guys.
Mazzaferro's Meats and Deli gave out free food and water.
We went to one family where these people were cutting trees and cleaning up, and so we talked to them, and it wasn't their house. It was their neighbor's house.
Recovery is ongoing. 2 large buildings on Ridge Street and Erie Boulevard still need to come down, and likely will in the next month. Some homes are still boarded up and vacant. A reminder of a dark time made lighter by the down but not out people stricken by the storm. Resilient Romans.
Everybody had each other's backs. It didn't matter if you were neighbors that were fighting the day before. You were out there helping them get the trees off their cars and pick up their belongings that were on their porch that were now 2 blocks away. It was truly amazing to watch.
That's Jolene Ferris reporting tonight. The mood in Rome is celebratory, and North James Street, well, there's a block party. It's been going on all afternoon. That's where we find News Channel 2's Luke Radel in a city that is still rebuilding. Luke, good evening.
Hey there, Kristen. I'm over here. I don't know if you can see me around all these party goers. Things are wrapping up around here, but I stuck around with some of the people who have been partying the hardest all afternoon. How are you guys doing today? Good. Did you guys all have fun? Yeah. Jacob, what was your favorite part about being here today?
Oh, good.
You liked playing the game?
Yeah.
Connect 4?
Yeah.
You think you could beat me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could too. Israel, what was your favorite part about being here today?
The food and the free stuff.
What about you?
The music.
The music? DJ Roscoe Red?
Yeah.
What was your favorite song that he played?
Cupid Shuffle.
Cupid Shuffle,
And
pretty
more.
cool. And more? What about you guys? What was your favorite part?
Food. The
Food?
games.
What food specifically? You got to tell the folks out there. They want to know.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
The yogurt.
The yogurt from Chobani, which is building a factory here. Did you guys know about that?
No.
They didn't know about it. I guess they're not watching a lot of WKTV, Kristen. We got to boost our demo. What about you, young man? What was your favorite part?
The music.
The music from Roscoe Red. Pretty cool, guys. What does it mean to have a big party like this here in the city of Rome to you?
I don't know.
Is it fun? Yeah, that's fun, right? Very good. All righty, well, I'm going to tilt things around because while this party is going on and packing up, we can actually still see a visible sign of the damage. Say goodbye, everybody. Thank you all for taking the time to talk to me. Take a look at this. First Presbyterian Church over here, looking over the block party, still has damage to its roof, Kristen, that's from the initial tornado. It was initially repaired and then was damaged again back in May, so the community is still rebuilding, but for now, a lot of celebration here on North James Street. Reporting from Rome, I'm Luke Radel with News Channel 2, sending it back to you.
All right, Luke, thank you. All right, let's get you caught up on the forecast, the current forecast with meteorologist Jill Reel.
I think Luke could take my job. You never know. He could be a teacher. He looks like he fit right in. Weather-wise, for tonight, the big story, it is hot out there. We are talking about temperatures in the upper 80s. We have dropped from the upper 80s, now moving into the mid 80s across the region. Currently, we're at 89 degrees at Griffiths Park, but that dew point is still up there in the upper 60s across the region. So as we go throughout tonight, I am going to be tracking some scattered showers moving through the area. You can see those showers just to my west. As we go throughout the evening into tonight, primarily after sunset, I will be tracking some showers. A pop-up thunderstorm is possible. Any thunderstorms that do develop could contain a few pockets of some heavy rain. Another round of thunderstorms possible for tomorrow as the cold front moves in, and that's going to usher in some relief. We're going to say goodbye to the heat and humidity just in time for the weekend. Look at that forecast coming up. Kristen?
Jill, thank you. The United County
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Jill Reel.
After several hours in the 90s, the temperatures have dropped back into the 80s across central New York. We are officially at 89 degrees at Griffiths Park, still 90 in Syracuse as well as Albany. But of course, you got to factor in those dew points, and those dew points are in the upper 60s. We did see dew points in the low 70s today. When you're in the low 70s, that's when it begins to feel quite tropical across the region. But with that dew point, we factor in that dew point, the moisture in the air plus the temperature to the feels like factor. And it feels like 93 degrees outside, which is better. The last hour, it felt like 98. So we're slowly but surely cooling off across central New York. Now, as we go throughout the evening hours, temperatures will continue to fall into the 80s, but the humidity is going to stick around. One more day of tropical weather for tomorrow, and then some big relief in sight as we head towards Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that is because of a cold front. That cold front is going to usher in some refreshing air just in time for the weekend. Now on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2, a Doppler radar, we have one lone shower just north of Boonville in Lewis County. We also have a few showers bordering Jefferson and Lewis County, as well as Oswego. As we go throughout tonight, especially after sunset, between sunset and midnight, going to be tracking a few pop-up showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. At this point in time, does not look like we'll be seeing any severe weather for today, but any showers or thunderstorms that do develop could contain some pockets of some heavy rain. But you'll notice as those showers push to the north and east, they're kind of dissipating, but we'll keep an eye on that potential for some scattered showers for this evening into tonight, but a better chance for some rain as we head into tomorrow. Cold front to our west will bring a few showers in the morning, better chance for some showers and thunderstorms as we head towards Thursday afternoon and into Thursday evening. So let's break it all down for you on our Skycast. Again, around 10 p.m., seeing a few showers move into the Utica-Rome area. Those will push off to the east. It is going to stay muggy and mild tonight. Look at this. By 8 a.m., we're at 73 degrees up in Boonville, 77 in Utica. So we're starting off in the 70s tomorrow. As we head towards tomorrow afternoon, by 1 p.m., we'll be tracking a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Those showers and thunderstorms will push off to the east. Behind it, much better weather. We're talking about low humidity, lots of sunshine, and comfortable temperatures as we head towards Friday. So for tonight, muggy, mild with a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures only drop back into the 70s. For tomorrow, another humid day, showers and thunderstorms, especially during the afternoon and into the evening hours. Then some relief is in sight. Beautiful, beautiful weather for both Friday and Saturday. Picture perfect weather, low humidity, lots of sunshine, and comfortable temperatures.
Thank you. Still to come here on News Channel 2 at 6.
Continuing coverage now on the one-year anniversary of the EF2 tornado that devastated the city of Rome. Meteorologist Eric Gage reports on how the tornado formed and how quickly it strengthened.
1 year ago, on the 16th of July, central New York would be changed forever. Sure, we had tornadoes before, but they were seen as a rarity. The Rome tornado removed our illusion of invincibility. Images coming in minutes after the tornado rolled through the city showed devastation you usually see from states far away. Flipped cars, collapsed roofs, debris everywhere. I walked through the city the day after with photojournalist Keith Hunt. I got to talk to residents, ask how they were feeling. Most were just still in disbelief. Seeing this happen in your own neighborhoods, in your own backyards, is a terrifyingly surreal experience. But what caused this devastating event? The answer lies with what was an approaching MCS, mesoscale convective system. You may have heard the name before, but if not, it's just a fancy word for an organized cluster of thunderstorms. But why are organized storms unique? The dynamics of the atmosphere act like a fluid. When storms organize, there's a lot of moving and rotating winds, more so than a single thunderstorm. This, along with other ingredients, creates the necessary recipe for severe weather. Around 3:30 in the afternoon, a line of thunderstorms entered central New York. Along the line, embedded rotating winds. If tornadoes form from storms of this nature, the lead time for warnings is significantly reduced. Rotations could spin up in the snap of a finger. That was the case with the Rome tornado. One radar scan was enough for a warning to go out with minutes to spare. The tornado struck the center of the city, launching debris with 135-mile-per-hour winds. We could even see the debris on the radar. Officially, it was an EF2 tornado, and it was one of the most significant of the 31 record-setting tornadoes that impacted New York State in 2024. Eric Gage, News Channel 2.
Eric, thank you. From then to now, this is what North James Street looked like this afternoon. One of the hardest hit areas during the tornado was a site of a block party tonight put on by Connected Community Schools. If you remember, these folks were among the first to hit the streets when the storm cleared and offered food to people without power. Today's event offered a fun place for families to go gather with games, food, and music from DJ Roscoe Red. Meteorologist Jill Reel is here with me now. And Jill, I was out there today. I had to keep shedding layers because it was very hot and humid. I hear, though, that might be going away pretty soon.
Yeah, one more day with the heat and humidity, but we reached 92 degrees today. But when you were out there, it felt like 98.
I felt every single degree, I promise you.
And with the heat and humidity, now we're tracking some showers and thunderstorms on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2, a Doppler radar. We are seeing these showers and thunderstorms make their way into central New York. You see a few now developing down towards Cooperstown and Hamilton, into Madison and Otsego counties, but we are expecting more in the way of some showers and a few embedded thunderstorms as we head into tonight. So as you head to bed, don't be surprised if some rumbles of thunder or some lightning begins to wake you up in the middle of the night. One more day of the heat. We are talking about temperatures again in the upper 70s at this hour, but it feels like 80 because of that dew point at 70 degrees. Tomorrow we are going to make our way into the upper 80s once again, and then some relief is in sight. 70s as we head towards Friday. We'll track that rain and those thunderstorms coming up. Luke?
Jill, thanks so much. Now to the tornado in Clark Mills from June 22nd. The application period through Oneida County to get financial help has closed, but Mohawk Valley Community Action Agency is offering another option. On July 23rd at the Clark Mills Fire Department, you can meet with staff from the agency about essential storm-related expenses. That may mean rent, storage, moving costs, car repairs, and more. The outreach event on July 23rd runs from 4 to 6 p.m. Oneida County is currently processing more than 550 applications for storm relief money. 3 people died in the tornado that hit Clark Mills. State Attorney General Letitia James says she is suing FEMA for cutting funding to help communities recover from natural disasters. James says that the Trump administration has no authority to make cuts to programs that many states rely on. New York and 19 other states filed a lawsuit. Our state has 38 projects totaling over $380 million that are currently in jeopardy. Up next for us, President Trump calls the Epstein.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Jill Reel.
Still dealing with those warm temperatures across the region. At this hour, we're at 78 degrees at Griffith Park. You think that's warm? Look at Syracuse at 83. 80 in Watertown. Now it is raining down towards Binghamton, Ithaca, and Rochester, and that rain will be moving into our region as we head into the overnight tonight before a cold front moves in tomorrow. Along with the warm temperatures, we're talking about those dew points. 70 is that dew point right now, so it feels like the low 80s across the region. So any showers that do begin to move into the area for tonight will be heavy at times because there is so much moisture in the air. And speaking of that moisture, one more day of that humid conditions, that tropical feeling in the air, and that will be tomorrow. And then we're going to see improving conditions as we head towards Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as the cold front moves through the area tomorrow, giving us another round of some showers and some thunderstorms. So let's take a look at our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. I am tracking one cell just to the west of Cooperstown. We're also seeing a shower in Hamilton, but as we zoom out and shift our view to the west, there is one severe thunderstorm warning just south of Oswego, and that will miss us to the north as it heads into Oswego and Lewis counties. But we are seeing some steady rain down towards Ithaca, and that's going to push slowly to the north and to the east. So do expect some rain to move in throughout the overnight, primarily after midnight, continuing into the early morning hours. Then we'll get a break, and then another round of rain associated with a cold front to our west. That's going to move in tomorrow afternoon. So again, we will see some showers tonight, a break in the action tomorrow morning, and then another round of some showers and some thunderstorms as we head towards Thursday afternoon. After that, we will begin to dry out, and we will see improving conditions with comfortable temperatures and that low humidity. So on our Skycast, again, I am tracking those showers that are going to move into the area around midnight and then continue to push to the north and to the east. Waking up tomorrow morning, look at those temperatures staying in the 70s for tonight. We will start off dry. As we head into the afternoon, you will notice some showers and a few thunderstorms developing after about 1 p.m. So before the rain arrives, it's going to be hot and humid with temperatures in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. That cold front front slides through for Thursday afternoon. By Thursday evening, we dry out and some refreshing air moves in for Friday. So again, for tonight, muggy and mild with showers and a few thunderstorms moving in. Temperatures in the low 70s. As we head into tomorrow, muggy and mild again. Temperatures in the upper 80s with showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon. And taking a look at the rest of your forecast for Friday and for Saturday, comfortable, lots of sunshine with temperatures in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees.
1 year anniversary of the EF2 tornado that hit the city of Rome. Meteorologist Eric Gage reports on how the tornado formed and how quickly it strengthened.
1 year ago, on the 16th of July, central New York would be changed forever. Sure, we had tornadoes before, but they were seen as a rarity. The Rome tornado removed our illusion of invincibility. Images coming in minutes after the tornado rolled through the city showed devastation you usually see from states far away. Flipped cars, collapsed roofs, debris everywhere. I walked through the city the day after with photojournalist Keith Hunt. I got to talk to residents, ask how they were feeling. Most were just still in disbelief. Seeing this happen in your own neighborhoods, in your own backyards, is a terrifyingly surreal experience. But what caused this devastating event? The answer lies with what was an approaching MCS, mesoscale convective system. You may have heard the name before, but if not, it's just a fancy word for an organized cluster of thunderstorms. But why are organized storms unique? The dynamics of the atmosphere act like a fluid. When storms organize, there's a lot of moving and rotating winds, more so than a single thunderstorm. This, along with other ingredients, creates the necessary recipe for severe weather. Around 3:30 in the afternoon, a line of thunderstorms entered central New York. Along the line, embedded rotating winds. If tornadoes form from storms of this nature, the lead time for warnings is significantly reduced. Rotations could spin up in the snap of a finger. That was the case with the Rome tornado. One radar scan was enough for a warning to go out with minutes to spare. The tornado struck the center of the city, launching debris with 135-mile-per-hour winds. We could even see the debris on the radar. Officially, it was an EF2 tornado, and it was one of the most significant of the 31 record-setting tornadoes that impacted New York State in 2024. Eric Gage, News Channel 2.
Eric, thank you. From then to now, this is what North James Street looked like this afternoon. One of the hardest hit areas during the tornado was tonight the site of a block party put on by Connected Community Schools. If you remember, those folks were among the first to hit the streets when the storm cleared and offer food to people without power. Today's event offered a fun place for families to gather with games, food, and music from DJ Roscoe Red. Joining me now is meteorologist Jill Reel. And Jill, I was out there for the party in Rome, and it was pretty hot, pretty humid, and I know that apparently that's moving away from us soon.
Yeah, one more day. We have
right.
one more day, but you were out in the heat today, and it was 92 degrees, but it felt like 98. So I don't know how you did it, but it was hot and humid.
I just kept shedding layers.
That's all you got to do. But because of the heat and humidity, I am now tracking some rain on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, these showers are quickly moving into the region, as they are beginning to lift to the north and to the east. So you see those showers now making its way towards Boonville. Also seeing a few showers near St. Johnsville as well as Cooperstown. Those showers will continue to push to the north and to the east as we head into the overnight. The other big story, it is very warm outside. Still, we're at 79 degrees at Griffith Park at 11 p.m. It feels like 82 with that dew point of 70. One more day of the heat and humidity tomorrow, then things are going to change as we head into the weekend. Those temperatures are going to drop into the 70s by Friday, low 80s as we head towards Saturday. I'll track that rain for the overnight coming up. Luke?
Jill, thank you. Those air conditioners have certainly been getting a workout. Second, the application period through Oneida County to get financial help has closed, but Mohawk Valley Community Action Agency is offering another option. On July 23rd at the Clark Mills Fire Department, you can meet with staff from the agency about essential storm-related expenses, including storage, moving costs, car repairs, and more. The outreach event on July 23rd runs from 4 to 6 p.m., and Oneida County is currently processing more than 550 applications for storm relief. 3 people were killed by the tornado on June 22nd. State Attorney General Letitia James is suing FEMA for cutting funding to help communities recover from natural disasters. James says the Trump administration has no authority to make cuts to programs that many states like ours rely on. New York joined 19 other states in filing the lawsuit. Our state currently has 38 projects totaling over $380 million that could be in jeopardy. The United County Executive has appointed.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Jill Reel.
Another warm and humid day across the region, and that heat and humidity continuing for tonight. We're at 79 degrees officially at Griffith Park, 81 in Syracuse. So notice the temperature's a little bit lower down across the southern tier because they have been dealing with some rain, and that rain is going to be approaching the central New York area as we head into the overnight. And it's not just the heat, but of course the humidity as well. Those dew points near 70 degrees, and once you get close to 70, that's when it feels tropical outside. So even though we are not dealing with the sun right now, we are still having a heat index for tonight. So you factor in that dew point with the air temperature, it feels like 82 degrees at 11 p.m. So yes, we are going to be dealing with the heat and humidity tonight and tomorrow. But then we finally see a break in the action as we head towards the weekend. So one more day of tropical weather, then we get comfortable weather for Friday, Saturday, and for Sunday as those dew points drop into the 50s. You can give those air conditioners a rest as we head towards the weekend as some refreshing air begins to move on in. But for tonight, keep those air conditioners running, still tracking some showers on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, a few spotty showers up towards Boonville and then making its way towards Little Falls and down towards Oneonta. But the rest of the rain, as you notice, as it pushes to the north and to the east, it's beginning to fall apart. Yes, we will still have some scattered showers for tonight, but the steady heavy rain that they saw down across the southern tier is beginning to break up. So do expect some light showers as we head into the rest of tonight, with a better chance for some showers and some thunderstorms tomorrow as a cold front to our west begins to move into the region. So right now, again, that first round of rain is pushing through the area. As we head into tonight, the weather is going to begin to quiet down. So as we go throughout the overnight into tomorrow morning, it's going to be a warm start. By 8 a.m., we're at 77 degrees in Utica, even Old Forge at 70 degrees. We are going to start off with a little bit of cloud cover, but do expect some sunshine throughout the morning. As we head towards the afternoon, I stopped the clock at 1 to show you some showers and some thunderstorms beginning to move into the area. That is that cold front that we're going to keep an eye on. Any showers or thunderstorms that do develop could contain some gusty wind as well as some heavy rain. So we're going to keep a close eye on that forecast for tomorrow afternoon. And then that cold front pushes off to the east and we'll see some refreshing air for Friday. So again, tonight, muggy and mild. Temperatures will be staying in the 70s throughout the overnight. As we head into tomorrow, hot and humid, near 90 degrees before those showers and thunderstorms move in during the afternoon. And taking a look at the rest of your forecast, as we head towards Friday and Saturday, beautiful weather. Highs in the upper 70s on Friday, low 80s on Saturday.